welcome to The World Now at 4 on Hills TV. I am Uduak Daniel. First, let's talk the headlines. And on the headlines, our attack. IGP orders deployment of operatives. Still on the headlines, South Africa and UAE in talks over Gupta brothers' future. Also on the headlines, New York raises age for owning semi-automatic rifle. And on sports, world champions slip to disappointing draw. Delegates arrive Eagle Square for APC presidential primaries. And now the news in detail. Some delegates of the All Progressives Congress, that is the APC, have arrived at Eagle Square in Abuja, where the presidential primary election is set to take place. According to the schedule of the event, delegates were supposed to be at the venue of the exercise by 10 a.m., but that did not happen as planned. While delegations from across the nation are expected at the arena at this time, only the delegates from Lagos, Ogun, and Osun states have arrived so far. According to the schedule of the event, delegates were supposed to be at the venue of the exercise by 10 a.m., but that did not happen as planned. While delegations from across the nation are expected at the arena, we only have Lagos, Ogun, and Osun states. About 2,322 delegates are expected to be in attendance as the ruling party picks its flag bearer for the 2023 presidential election. Officially, there are 23 aspirants jostling for the tickets, but the party has advised 10 of them to withdraw. Away from that story, let's have you know that Inspector General of Police, that is Usman Baba, has ordered the deployment of specialized operatives to unravel the perpetrators of Sunday's attack on St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Owo, Ondo State. The Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Olumoyiwa Adejobi, made this known in a statement on Monday in Abuja. He noted that the specialized operatives would be drawn from the police explosive ordnance devices, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear explosives, and other tactical units from the force headquarters. Adejobi said the deployment is to ensure a comprehensive investigation and immediate interception of the perpetrators of the attack. He further stated that the IGP had condemned the attack that led to the brutal murder of innocent Nigerians in their place of worship. The police spokesman said preliminary investigations had revealed that the gunmen invaded the church with arms and materials suspected to be explosives. The Supreme Court on Thursday, May 26, reserved judgment in the suit filed by Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari and Attorney General of the Federation Abubakar Malami to void the provisions of Section 84, subsection 12 of the Electoral Act 2022. Justice Musa Dadtijo, who led the 7-member panel of the justices of the Supreme Court, reserved judgment after counsel to all the parties adopted all their processes. He, however, said the ruling will announce a date to the parties involved for judgment. On May 19, the Apex Court admitted an application filed by Rivers to be joined in the suit. To other stories, Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State and a presidential aspirant of the ruling All Progressives Congress, that is the APC, has warned that excluding his name on the ballot in today's convention to elect the party's presidential flag bearer will be an invitation to trouble. Bello, who is one of the aspirants cleared to contest for the party's presidential ticket ahead of the 2023 election, said there was a conspiracy against him, accusing the APC northern governors and some elite of gang up. He said there was no need for him to be excluded in the primary, claiming that he represents the youth and the downtrodden. Speaking with Newsman Tuesday at the State House, Abuja, after a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, Bello described himself as a leading aspirant that would win overwhelmingly if the process was transparent and credible. According to him, the only reason that could make him not contest the presidential primary is if President Buhari tells him to step down. And now let's get on to Anambra State and bring stories to the fact that Governor of Anambra State, Chukwuma Soludo, has ordered the repeat of the online recruitment examination teachers which took place on Saturday, June 4. There have been criticisms about the examination by some candidates owing to network failures, as the website failed for about 30 minutes into the 1-hour exam. About 31,000 candidates had applied to sit for the examination to fill the 5,000 available vacancies. A majority of the candidates had complained that the system broke down even before they could log in for the examination due to network failure. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Don't go away. Welcome back to The World Now at 4 on Hills TV. On a visit to the Great Lakes region, Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, who is the Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security at the African Union, paid tributes to Burundian soldiers who died while on service in Somalia. In the company of former Burundian President Domitien Ndayizeye, who is now a member of the AU Advisory Panel, he laid a wreath of flowers on one of the graves. AU peace battalions in recognition of Burundi's contribution to this mission.
Again, to remember all those who have fallen in the fight for peace on the continent. At the same time, we also use this occasion to remember the recent loss of Burundian personnel fighting to promote peace in Somalia.
This tribute comes a few weeks after the death of several Burundian soldiers in a terrorist attack on El Baraf, a base of AU Transitional Mission in Somalia that is the ATMIS ATMIS. The attack left 10 soldiers dead, 25 wounded, and 50 terrorists killed, according to official sources. The families of the victims are now deploring compensations, which they claim has been delayed. Burundian Minister of National Defense Alain Teribat Mutabazi has reassured them of timely payment. To other matters in the news, South African and Emirati authorities have announced that 2 brothers from the wealthy Gupta family have been arrested in the United Arab Emirates, that is the UAE. Atul Rajesh Gupta are accused in South Africa of profiting from their close links with former President Jacob Zuma and exerting unfair influence. Although extradition talks were taking place between the 2 countries, report says the brothers fled South Africa after a judicial commission began probing them and their involvement in corruption in 2018. A statement from Dubai police said the 2 men were being held in connection with money laundering and criminal charges in South Africa. We now move to other parts of the world after this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. In the news, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has condemned the Sunday attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Ondo State, by gunmen, which claimed scores of lives. He called on the authorities to spare no effort in bringing the perpetrators to justice. According to a statement by the spokesperson for the Secretary General, Stephanie Dujarric, Guterres emphasized that attacks on places of worship are abhorrent. It read, the Secretary General condemns in the strongest terms the heinous attack on the St. Francis Catholic Church in Ondo State on June 5 that resulted in the deaths and injuries to scores of civilians as people gathered for the Pentecost service. The Secretary General extended his heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims and wished a speedy recovery to the injured. He also expressed his sympathies and solidarity with the government and people of Nigeria. And now let's bring to your eardrums the fact that in New York, we have a Kathy Hochul approving a package of gun reform laws that had been passed by the state Senate in the wake of last month's shooting that killed 10 black people, and that would be in New York. The measures come amid a spate of mass killings in the United States.
The perpetrator was a male, and the age of the perpetrator was 18. I don't want 18-year-olds to have guns.
Still in the matter, there were talks about the news of bringing together the United States and talking about matters that concern renewed calls for greater gun control laws. Peyton Gendron, 18, is accused of gunning down the shoppers at Tops Friendly Markets using an AR-15 assault rifle that he had bought illegally. As well as being at least 21 years old, buyers of semi-automatic rifles will now also have to obtain a permit, meaning undergoing a background check. Hochul also agreed to expand the state's red flag laws, which allows courts to take away guns from people deemed at risk to themselves and others. And now let's have you know the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson survived the confidence vote on Monday, but a large rebellion in his Conservative Party leaves him with a struggle to win back support. Despite the victory, the vote was a blow to Johnson, with 41% of his lawmakers casting ballots against his leadership after months of scandals and gaffes that have raised questions over his authority to govern Britain and knocked a standing among the public. But Johnson described the vote as a decisive result and said the party can now come together.
We're going to bash on. We have a huge agenda and we're going to get it done.
Johnson won the vote 211 to 148, a worse showing that when lawmakers tried to oust his predecessor, Theresa May, who won her vote but then resigned 6 months later by winning Monday's confidence vote, Johnson has secured a 12-month reprieve when lawmakers cannot bring another challenge. Johnson has tried to move attention away from the Partygate scandal 4 weeks after it came to light that he and staff held alcohol-fueled parties in his Downing Street office and residence while the rest of Britain was under strict COVID-19 lockdowns. Coming right up next on The World Now at 4 is business news. Stay with us. Welcome back to The World Now at 4 Business Desk. Let's have you know the president of the Association of Bureau de Change Operatives of Nigeria, that is the ABCON ABCON, Aminu Gwadabe, has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria, that is the CBN, to use Bureau de Change, that is the BDCs, as tool in ending multiple rates practices and ushering in stability in the forex market. The Central Bank of Nigeria, that is the CBN operational manual, defines BDCs as small retail end institutions licensed to carry on the business of selling personal travel allowance, that is the PTA, business travel allowance, that is the BTA, school fees and medical bills payment abroad, among other roles at the criteria retail end of the foreign exchange market. However, the various policies of the CBN on the operation of the subsector continues to be inhibitive and limiting BDCs from providing their constitutional roles in the forex market and economy. Gwadabe has therefore called for collaboration between the BDCs and the CBN in the implementation of market-friendly policies that will make the BDCs impact more positively in the market and promote an exchange and stability in the economy. Still talking business, this time in Ghana, the Ghana Union of Traders Association, that is the GUTA, has promised to make a strong case for the VAT flat rate to be reviewed in the mid-year budget, which is expected to come off in July. The new policy imposes a flat levy on businesses operating below 500,000 thresholds. Retailers above the threshold are made to pay 19.25% as standard rate. Describing the tax as retrogressive, the president of Qatar, Joseph Obeng, said the union will push for a review of the levy. Obeng argued that the new system has created an unfair market environment that has resulted in many retailers avoiding tax payment. He concluded that the situation has also resulted in price hikes, thereby pushing inflation up in the country. More business stories coming your way. While the Central African Republic, that is the CAR, has taken a bold step to legalize digital currency, that is Bitcoin, Ethiopia's central bank has warned citizens not to engage in illegal transactions in digital currencies. State-affiliated Broadcasting Corporation, that is the FBC, reported that the National Bank of Ethiopia, that is the NBE, said digital currencies like cryptocurrencies and bitcoins have not been recognized by the NBE as a transactional and payment method. The NBE said in a statement that Ethiopia's national currency in the Ethiopian birr will, with any financial transaction in Ethiopia, to be paid in birrs, according to the law. The central bank further warned that digital currencies are being used to conduct informal financial transactions and money laundering schemes in Ethiopia. The NBE called on the public to refrain from trading in digital currencies and to report to authorities when they see such illegal transactions. Travel agents have warned that cancelled flights and delays at airports are fueling anxiety among UK holiday makers ahead of the key summer season. A network of travel agents said 30% of calls to its members were from people worried about future bookings. Thousands of travelers are thought to be stuck abroad after flight cancellations over the Jubilee weekend. Reports show that the disruption is driven by staff shortages across the aviation industry. And now let's go on the short break. When we come back, it will be more on The World Now at 4. Don't go away.
It's a beautiful evening and welcome to Sports News on World Now at 4. I'm Richard Badung. Federation of International Basketball Association, that is FIBA, has confirmed its refusal to the overtures of the federal government of Nigeria 3 times to resolve the crisis rocking the sport in the country. In separate letters dated 26 October, 12 November and 17 November 2021, the Sports Minister, Sunday Dare, extended invitations to FIBA to visit the country and mediate the crisis. On October 26, 2021, in a letter addressed to the Secretary General of the FIBA Africa, Andres Zaklis, the Sports Minister noted inter alia that Nigeria as a country will be happy to receive and welcome the delegation from FIBA to look into the crisis in the NBBF or recommend a possible solution and advice in resolving the crisis in the Federation. This was followed up with another letter on 21 November 2021 addressed to Hamani Niang, president of FIBA, in which Sunday Dare, the sports minister, highlighted the following. In quote, "I want to encourage FIBA to continue its correspondences with the Secretary General of the Federation in all matters and would like to firmly assure you that Nigeria will continue to honor all our continental and international sporting commitments, particularly its commitment with FIBA." Right from the FIBA story now, Tanzania is currently pushing to upgrade its sports facilities as a strategy to enable it qualify to host big tournaments, including the Africa Cup of Nations in 2027. Unfortunately, Tanzania's opposition parties have criticized the government's plan to use taxpayers' money to renovate stadiums, including some owned by the ruling CCM party. While presenting his ministry's budget estimates, the Minister for Culture and Sport asked the Parliament to approve a sum of 10 billion shillings, worth $4.2 million to repair 7 playgrounds, 5 of which belongs to CCM. A spokesman from the opposition ACT Wazalendo party said the government should return the ownership of the grounds before renovating them, calling the move a misappropriation of funds. The Chadema party's John Mrema called on Parliament to reject the proposal, saying it was unacceptable to use taxpayers' money to repair private-owned facilities. Now to the Nations League, where England manager Gareth Southgate steered England to their first knockout win over Germany in 55 years last summer, but they are unbeaten in 10 games under Hans Flick. England takes on Germany in a Nations League clash at the Allianz Arena later tonight by 7:45 p.m. Gareth Southgate has described England's Nations League meeting with Germany at the Allianz Arena on Tuesday as a brilliant test as the World Cup draws closer.
In some respects, the result in the summer was overlooked. I'm not sure why, but the quality of the team was still very, very high. World Cup winners everywhere, Champions League winners everywhere, so real experience of those big occasions. For me, Germany and Brazil are still the benchmark in terms of countries who've regularly, consistently won tournaments. Even when, you know, everyone will talk about the 5-1 here, they ended up in the World Cup final on the back of that qualifying campaign. So you have to respect what they've been as a country and what they are as a country in footballing terms, and that mentality is what we're trying to create. We've got to keep getting to the latter stages of competitions and games like
England head to Munich, having suffered a shock 1-0 loss to Hungary in their Group C opener, but the meeting with Germany, one of only 4 remaining fixtures before the 2022 World Cup, represents a far sterner challenge. England will take encouragement from their last meeting with Germany when a Southgate side triumphed 2-0 at Wembley to secure their place in the Euro 2022 in the Euro 2020 quarterfinals last summer. Away from the Nations League, a reshuffled France drew 1-1 away to Croatia in their second Nations League game on Monday, 4 days after an opening defeat by Denmark. France went ahead through Adrien Rabiot's goal early in the second half, but Andrej Kramaric's late penalty after a VAR intervention gave the host a deserved draw. World champions France, who slumped to a 2-1 home loss to Denmark in their opening match, were without the likes of Kylian Mbappe and Karim Benzema at the start as coach Didier Deschamps made 10 changes to Friday's team. Deschamps was back on the bench after he missed Friday's game against Denmark following the death of his father. Croatia was the most dangerous in a lively start before Christopher Nkunku was denied a goal for offside as France began to threaten on the break around the half-hour mark. Les Blues piled the pressure on Croatia's left flank, and Moussa Diaby came close before the break just before Aurelien Tchouameni's fierce strike was carried away by Dominik Livakovic. France was rewarded for their good intentions at the 52nd minute when Rabiot collected a through ball from Wissam Ben Yedder and found the back of the net with a slow shot for his second international goal. And that's your sport news on World Now at 4. Back to Udwak Daniel for the rest of the news. I'm Richard Badung.
Many thanks, Richard Badung, for that one on sports. Talking more stories, Belgium's King Philip is expected to arrive in Democratic Republic of Congo, that is the DRC, on June 7. His first visit to the former Belgian colony since the start of his reign in 2013. But some in Congo want to know if he will apologize for brutality of Belgium's colonial past. Congo was subsequently a Belgian colony for 52 years. In 2020, King Philip expressed deep regret for the suffering and humiliation inflicted on Congo during 75 years of Belgian rule. Historian Antoine Roger Le Congo says he wants more from the king.
En tant que Congolais, je peux dire soyez la bienvenue. Mais cette fois-ci, pardon aux Congolais exprimé ne suffit pas. Vraiment très importante, ce qui nous ramène les reliques, notre vraie attente.
Congo achieved independence in 1960. And that's the World Now at 4. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you on the headlines, our attack, IGP orders deployment of operatives. We also told you South Africa and UAE in talks over Gupta brothers' future. We brought to the fore the fact that New York raises age for owning semi-automatic rifle. And on sports, world champions slip to disappointing draw. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV, Instagram at Hills TV. Our YouTube channel is at Hills TV. I am Udwak Daniel. Thank you for watching.